going on, Terry?
How you doing?
I think earlier in the year when you had your chase down tackle in Dallas, you said you texted DK Metcalf. So I'm assuming there's a pretty good relationship there. Just what will it be like having him on the other sideline this week? And what do you respect about his game specifically?
I wouldn't say we're like super close, but I think there's a respect there on both sides for each other's game and how hard we play. What he's doing in that offense just his second year is pretty impressive. The way he's able to, move the way he moves at that size and just makes big plays for his offense and his team. You can tell that he's their go-to guy. So, I just hope that he continues to stay healthy and I wish him the best. But it's not really me versus him. It's Seattle versus Washington. So I try to keep that in perspective. And, it's not like I'm going out there trying to, get more stats than he is or more numbers or touchdowns or things like that. I'm sure he'd say the same as you just want, your team to have more points than your opponent at the end of the day.
Hey, Terry, it's John Keim. Are there things, you're somebody who likes to study other receivers. Is there anything that you look at his game that you have tried to apply, or are you guys just so different that, it's not something you would do?
Yeah, I don't really see us as similar receivers personally. So I haven't really watched film on his game to try to implement it in mine. One thing I like the way how physical he plays. I feel like when you're that big, you have to use that as an advantage, and he does. He is almost like he tries to bully the other DBs, and I feel like that's a mentality. But as far as similarities that I look for, I don't really see any similarities in our game that I try to bring into mind that he has that I'm trying to emulate from him.
Terry, what did it feel like to hit 1,000 yards in the last game?
It felt good. Felt better to win. So I didn't really make a big deal of it. A lot of people were like, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. But, I'm just kind of focusing more so on just continue to try to help us get into the playoffs and take it a day at a time, a game at a time. It's the first time I've ever had that in my football career, 1,000 yards. So that part's cool. But it's even better that we're on a win streak right now.
Hey, Terry, in the last couple of games, teams have been double and triple teaming you, and they're saying, we're not going to let him beat us, so if somebody else has to do that. Is it anything that you saw on film or the coaches have told you that maybe do this, or you saw things that you could do differently to get the ball a little bit more?
I just try to do what Scott and our offensive staff is putting together week in and week out. I don't really go into the game knowing if they're going to double team me. You try to adjust on the fly if that does happen or if they're shading or what have you. But that's the nice thing about it, that we've had guys over the last few weeks make some plays and step up even more for us. And I've never felt like, the whole offensive production, especially the pass games, rest on my shoulders. So, I just try to take advantage of that matchups I do have when we have favorable matchups. And, I trust my teammates to make the plays when their opportunity comes as well. So, I knew that there was going to be opportunity. I was going to get more attention from defenses. So it's not like it's come as a shock. I'm just trying to make the plays when I do get those opportunities, when I get some single coverage or some soft zones or things like that. But, I feel like our offensive staff is doing a good job of trying not to let teams, predict where I'm going to line up. So hopefully we can keep that going.
Hey, Terry, one of the things Ron mentioned that impresses him most about you is your ability to stay consistent while playing through injury. I wonder, how tough has that been this year, and kind of what have you had to do, maybe adjust to kind of get yourself to the level you need to be at?
Yeah, it's tough, but at the end of the day, everybody's dealing with something at this point of the season, throughout the season. So I try not to make it I actually don't make it a big deal at all. As long as I could go out there and give 110% and give my best on Sundays, that's what matters most to me. And I'm going to do whatever it takes off the field to get my body right in the training room, trying to get the proper nutrition and sleep so I'm ready for Sundays. But when you're a guy who's going to play the whole game and get the touches that I get, your body has to be prepared for it. And, but injuries are part of the game as well. But at the same time, I try to just be as effective as possible, be as available as possible, both in practice and in the game, because I would like to practice every single practice so you could get that rhythm throughout the week and get on the same page with the quarterbacks. But most importantly, I just want to make sure my body's ready to handle the 3-hour grind on Sundays.
Hey, Terry, you said that getting to 1,000 yards wasn't that big of a deal for you, even if it was the first time in your career. What would be a big deal for you?
Continue to win. Getting further than a lot of people maybe anticipated that we got this year, and continue to be that leader that my team has sees me as, and develop that part of the type of person and player that I am, and just continue to try to make plays. The plays that do come to me, those 50-50 balls, I got to try to continue to try to make those few opportunities count. I don't know how many opportunities I'm going to get each and every game. So I'm just really trying to focus on, I can't let any of those slip. But, I'm not really a big, I don't really put a whole lot of emphasis on my stats per se. I put more emphasis on the impact I try to have on my team, whether it's the blocking or it's the receiving or it's the leadership. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can impact a game and impact the team. So as long as we're winning, I don't really care about anything else.
Hey, Terry, a lot of people around maybe the NFL and maybe even here, fans, media, think this is a team that's hot right now. Mm-hmm. Then there are some people that think you guys are a good team already. Where do you come in on that? And what's the general sense that you maybe have of your teammates? Do you guys think you're good or riding a hot streak?
Well, I don't think we've proclaimed anything. I think we're taking it day by day, practice by practice, and game by game. I feel like that's what's gotten us this far. We've kept our heads down and we've worked really hard. The people who are outside this building and their job is to kind of, evaluate how we're doing or talk about, are we for real or this or that and the other. We don't really get into that. And I feel like as a leader, it's part of my job to help to make sure we stay focused on the task at hand, because we haven't got to where we need to get while we, Coach Rivera just spoke on today, how far we've come. Oftentimes you focus on how much further you need to go, but you don't appreciate how far you've come. But we're not just relishing in how far we've come. We want more. We want to continue to improve. And we have another opportunity to do that against a very good team on Sunday. So we're trying to focus solely on that.
We'll take two more.
How much have you talked to Dwayne this week and just about, possibly getting another shot for him?
Yeah, I try not to put too much on Dwayne's plate. I hope he knows I'm always there for anything that he needs. And the nice thing about it is this is not foreign to him. He's prepared for an NFL game for multiple weeks this year. Granted, he had to take a step back and have more of a backup role. I felt like that gave him some time to grow as a person and as a player. And, his attention to detail has only grown, and the way that he operated our scout team during the times he was fully the backup was very impressive. Just he was treating those like opportunities. And if he gets the call this weekend, we have confidence that he is going to be able to translate those practice reps and the reps that he's getting this week into execution on Sunday.
And Terry, with that said, Terry, Alex could be the starter this week without practicing. But as a receiver going into the next game, what's the challenge there as you're trying to be specific as to what you're doing against that next team?
Yeah, it's a little challenging, but Alex is coming to a game where I haven't practiced all week, so it could kind of go twofold. And you're entrusted by your coaches and your teammates to be ready. And Alex is doing whatever it takes. It seems like he's here all day long, not just preparing as the quarterback, but just trying to make sure his body's right to give himself the best opportunity to play on Sunday. And my job, whether it's Dwayne, whether it's Alex, the luxury of now I've got to play with both, and I know what both of them are looking for and the execution that they want. and what they want out of the receiver. So whether it's Dwayne or Alex, my job on Sunday is just to make them as comfortable as possible.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Terry.
All right, cool.
Thanks.